Honestly, if I was with a girl and she tied me up over something she probably heard wrong, as soon as I escaped, I will march right down to the police station and turn myself in, because I probably could have been more direct. All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, today we're doing a spoiler-free breakdown of the new movie, Oh Hi. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular taste takers, look, are these women crazy or are we driving them mad? Okay, quick background here. Oh Hi is a new movie that was written and directed by Sophie Brooks. It stars my homie, Molly Gordon, who was also a co-writer. Now, who is Sophie Brooks? Sophie Brooks is a director whose first movie came out in 2017. It was called The Boy Downstairs. Considering that was her first movie, the whole process was surprisingly smooth. Write it, get your first choice actress to act it, film it, debut it at the Tribeca Festival, then of course, rinse and repeat with your next movie. Or so she thought. She went on to work on her next project, but she was finding that the second time around had no such luck. Fast forward to COVID times, yeesh. And not only do we almost lose Tom Hanks, but this second screenplay Sophie was working on was going nowhere. She was living at the house where she grew up at. Her parents are probably driving her nuts, and it's freaking COVID. So she does what any rational human being would do at a time like this. She calls her agent, and her agent's like, girl, if you don't get your shit together, why don't you come up with something that you could film right now? You know, like something COVID friendly. Limited locations, limited actors. Take that advice and call me in the morning. 5 minutes later, and Sophie had her idea. A new couple decides to go on a trip, and after the first night, they realize they're on two separate wavelengths. A few days after she had this idea, she was hanging with Molly Gordon the homie. But Molly Gordon is also Sophie's homie. They've been friends for years. So she tells Molly this idea. Molly's like, girl, I love it. We should totally do this together. And that's exactly what the fuck they did. It took a couple years longer than expected, but in 2024, they made their limited location, limited actor movie, filmed in Germantown, New York, with our main cast members as Molly Gordon, the homie, who plays Iris, Logan Lerman, who plays her, is complicated, Isaac, Geraldine Viswanathan, who plays Iris's best friend Max, and John Reynolds, who plays Max's boyfriend Kenny. You got all that? Oh Hi premiered at this year's Sundance Film Festival, and I was lucky enough to check it out at this year's Tribeca Festival. I also was lucky enough to speak with Sophie, Molly, and Logan, who were all super freaking nice. So I got some clips from those interviews in this video, just sprinkled in as well. All right, plot time. Oh Hi is the story of Iris and Isaac. They've been dating for a couple months now, and they decide to take their first vacation, a little road trip upstate. V cute, V romantic. Well, that is until Iris finds out that Isaac isn't actually looking for anything serious.
I just didn't expect this.
Dinner's ready.
Expect what? The handcuffs?
For it to feel this easy. Our first trip as a couple.
I think you're great. I'm just not really looking for a relationship right now.
Are you joking?
No.
Yikes. Now, of course, Iris could pack her stuff up, end the trip a little early, head home, and get back into the dating pool when she's ready. But no, instead, she ties Isaac up to the bed and decides she's gonna convince him that he does indeed want a relationship with her.
What if you give me 12 hours to show you, does he not like French toast? What we could be together. No, he got French toast.
Breakfast is served.
Uncuff me!
That's not actually what you want. Because I don't think you know what you want. If you really thought about what you wanted, it wouldn't be what you wanted.
Iris?
Duh. So will this next level / highly illegal TED Talk do the trick? Or will this non-consensual BDSM get Iris into some handcuffs of her own? And now we got a movie. So what's my take? This is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a while. I always talk about the long lost art of comedy movies. I don't know where they went, but they are gone. With Oh Hi, I'm going to say we got 3 in 2025 so far, like strong comedy movies. The other 2 being, of course, One of Them Days and Friendship. If you haven't seen Friendship, just watch Friendship, okay? Now, I've said this on my channel before. The funniest movies since, I guess, like that Superbad era, the funniest 2 movies that I've seen in years, perhaps centuries, are Good Boys and Booksmart. They both came out in 2019. And would you believe that they both have Molly Gordon, the homie? And don't think for a second I wasn't going to bring that up when I saw her.
To me, in the last, I don't even know how long, there's never been a 2-movie run like Booksmart and Good Boys. So I have to just give you your flowers for that, because I watch those movies like, it's like I think we lost a lot of that art of just like that comedy that you just go back and just rewatch. And those 2, I go back to them all the time. So now we get into business, but I had to just talk about that first.
Thank you so much for that. I love both of those movies, and that was like, I felt very lucky to be a part of both of them.
Yeah, they're so fire. But yes, back to the movie. This was for me. Love me a rom-com, love me an original idea, a simple plot, gets right to it, smart, well-written, a COVID movie that doesn't feel like COVID. For this to be only Sophie Brooks' second movie, I'm beyond impressed. Now, we talked about in the beginning how Sophie's second movie took a lot longer to make than she first, initially thought. So when I got to speak with her, I asked her okay, cool. Well, it took a lot longer, but what were some of the benefits of that extended time period that maybe you didn't expect, or, just like a surprising benefit to the gap in time? This is what she had to say.
I'm wondering, I'm sure there's a level of challenge to that, maybe some rust, but can you talk about some of the positives that come with that kind of gap in between?
That's a beautiful question. Yeah. I think a positive is I really refined my craft. I wrote so many scripts in those years, and I think learned so much about story and character. And I also think the version of the movie that we ended up making is what the movie was meant to be, and the best version of it. And I don't know that I would have been ready to make it earlier. I think, ultimately life experience and industry experience was incredibly valuable.
Listen, Molly Gordon's always going to be the homie, but I think Sophie Brooks is also going to have to be the homie, if she'll have me as the homie. Really looking forward to what she comes up with next. I love this damn movie. Okay, speaking of love, of course, yes, my love for Molly Gordon will never be in question. Anything she's in, I'm going to enjoy it. But this whole small but mighty cast, they all deliver, starting with her co-star, Logan Lerman. And I'm not too proud to admit that I never seen Percy Jackson, but this dude was legit. See, a lot of times in movies like this, it's so easy to paint the guy as the villain or the asshole. Here, Logan plays Isaac in a way that's like perfectly toting this line. You're not really rooting for him, but you can kind of at least understand his viewpoints once Iris lets him talk. And that's how it is with both of them. It's like, you're not like, oh, I'm Team Iris or I'm Team Isaac, or maybe somebody watching this will be, but you understand her motives. You may not agree with them, but you're like, hey, it's been 4 months. What are we doing? You could just tell when you watch movies when the cast just has chemistry together. And when you watched their interviews, you can just see it was like a real homie vibe for everyone involved in making this movie. When I got to talk to Logan, I asked him, because he doesn't normally do lighter movies like this. So I just simply asked him hey, did you enjoy your time making a lighter movie? Do you want to do more? And here's what he had to say about that.
Oh, I loved it so much. I learned that a movie can be fun to make. Oftentimes, I've been working on some heavy stuff in recent years that it can be pretty taxing. Going to work every day on this one was just a joy. We were finding the funny every day and laughing and embarrassing ourselves and just having a good time. And I love this movie. I love movies like this. I think this one in particular is so original and really adds to the genre of rom-coms, if you would still keep it in that category by the end of it. And yeah, just had a great time making it. Just want to do new things.
Okay, then our other couple, Max and Kenny, which is literally the exact opposite to Iris and Isaac, when they pull up, the movie just goes to another level. Obviously, it's not easy to make a movie where it's just two people in a room, which for a large part of it, it's Iris and Isaac in this bedroom. But how the movie is shot and the choices that Sophie's making, you don't ever get bored with them in the room. And just when they've been in the room for a long ass time, in comes Max and Kenny, damn near stealing the show. Now, I think I've seen a lot of the projects that Geraldine Viswanathan has been in. I like that stuff. We all love Geraldine. But I don't think I've seen John Reynolds in anything else. But when he shows up here, he's stealing the show. I don't know how else to put it. Like this gentle giant who just loves his girl and is also hilarious. I think Sophie and John had some level of friendship, and when she was writing this character, she was writing it with John in mind, and I can't help but see why. So yeah, the cast is great, they're written great, but the movie leaves us with some social commentary that we can talk about, that we should talk about. In this case, that social commentary is around dating. Now, when Sophie and Molly were coming up with this idea in COVID times, they were both coming off breakups. So, with pain comes art. You know how it is. They turned that into a movie that takes a good look at the world of dating today. More specifically, communication in dating today. Look, there's just a lot of room for improvement. And I think we would all be a lot better off if we would just be open and honest in how we communicate. Honestly, not to get you could just say you don't want to go, or you don't want to go with me, or you go to these kind of things with someone else, and right now it will be inappropriate. No, I'm fine. Anyway, besides this intimate look into the complex world of fuckboys and softboys, this movie also takes a good look into the world of guys being called assholes and women being called crazy. And if I'm being honest, sometimes us men can be quick to call women crazy. And I'm sure after a while, a lot of these women gotta be like, wait a minute, am I crazy? Or is he driving me crazy? So yeah, it's not like this movie is solving the problems of the dating world, but it does cause for conversation. In a world where movies like Materialists came out, and I don't know what I took from that as far as I guess make more money. But with this, I think it could start a lot of conversations. And honestly, that's half the battle. Let's get some last words from our friend Sophie Brooks on the world of dating.
I certainly don't have a cure. I would love to give people that. I mean, I think my takeaway that I hope people take from the movie is that you shouldn't convince anyone to be with you, and that everybody is worthy of love and commitment. And if someone doesn't want to meet you where you are, then that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're bad, or it doesn't mean that you're too much. It can just mean you're not a match. And I hope that that people, I think, get better at walking away from things that aren't right, and don't settle for crumbs.
Thank you, Sophie. That's why you're the new homie. Look, Jurassic World is out. Superman is out. Fantastic Four is out. I'm certain that not enough people are going to be talking about Oh Hi. So I'm going to do my part as a serious journalist to spread the gospel about a really fun, really smart movie that I absolutely adored. So if your superhero fatigue is on full blast, take a friend, take a date, take yourself to see Oh Hi. It's available right now in select theaters. As always, thanks for checking out Taste Steak. If you enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, listen, have you guys heard about this movie? Can you please take a chance and go check it out? There's not a lot of good movies that are just creative, unique, and it's gonna make for a good conversation. I went to see this movie twice. I covered it, did the red carpet, and went back to see it again. That's how much I liked it. So please, if it's in your area, looking for a good movie, you done seen Superman, you done seen Fantastic Four, check out Oh Hi. In the comments, what's dating like in your city? Oh, and if you're married and stuff, just relax. Mind your business. How about that? Also, do you think there's such thing as a bad texter, or does that person just not want to talk to you? You know? Thanks for the time, yo. Peace. Okay, honestly, this is nonsense. That's why I put it right here at the end. But I don't know if you guys have seen. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Have you guys seen this text thread? And they're like, who is at fault for the communication breakdown? You could like pause it or whatever, so you could like read it and stuff. It's not important, and I don't even know if it's real, but it's real enough because it happens all the time. And I'm interested to see what you guys' thoughts are. I have my own thoughts, and I think they're both wrong. But you know, it's just dating.
And how do you describe, or how do you kind of grapple with, this movie came from COVID lockdowns, and from what I understand, 2 breakups from you and Sophie, but without those, then there's no this art. So like, how do you kind of grapple with like, well, from tragedy could, come this?
I mean, Nora Ephron, everything is copy. And I think like every heartbreak has deepened me as a human being and has brought funny jokes. And hopefully other women will feel seen by this.
Well, there's that saying, tragedy plus time equals comedy. And we're both huge Nora Ephron devotees, and she said everything is copy. So I think there's something quite cathartic about making art from pain, and it feels like a privilege to get to process something through your art.
Honestly, if I was with a girl and she tied me up over something she probably heard wrong, as soon as I escaped, I just